So in previous lecture we have completed the 10th chapter. So 13th chapter we have already learned with NCERT. Much more important thing there. Fine. Light reaction, dark reactions, factors affecting photosynthesis, and the most important, it is C2 cycle. Fine. So let us discuss the photosynthesis process. Photosynthesis is physico-chemical process. What do you mean by physico-chemical process? So physical, that is sunlight, and chemical, that is sugar. Fine. So sunlight is absorbed by the plant, and with the help of sunlight, as you know that this sunlight is absorbed in the form of the photon. So this sunlight or photons can be absorbed by the photosynthetic parts of the plant, and then the energy which is stored in the sunlight, it is converted into sugar. So plant perform the photosynthesis and form the sugar, I mean to say glucose, and then glucose is converted into starch, and starch is converted into sucrose. So as you know that sucrose is the one type of the carbohydrate. By this sucrose form, the plant conduct the food material throughout the body. So it is known as physico-chemical process. So sunlight is absorbed, so that is the physical property, and sugar is the chemical process. Photosynthesis is also known as basic life on Earth. So actually we have to learn the ecosystem first, but not now. You know that each and every ecosystem, either you select the aquatic ecosystem or terrestrial ecosystem, any ecosystem you think about that, first in any ecosystem, the first organisms are producers. And producers are the plants. So the plants absorb the photon. So in each and every part of the earth, find the basic life is photosynthesis. Why? Because with the help of the photosynthesis, the food is transferred from the one organism to another organism. So in any ecosystem you select that sunlight is only absorbed by the plants in the major quantity. Fine. So we say that it is the basic life of the earth. Photosynthesis is also known as primary source of food on earth. So in any region, the main primary source is photosynthesis process. Another important point, release O2 in atmosphere, but this is during daytime. As you know, that plant inspired CO2 and expired O2. Photosynthesis is endergonic process. You know that endergonic means anabolic process through which the energy is absorbed in the plant. So energy is entered inside the organism. That's why we say that endothermic process also. Photosynthesis is a Gill process. Why? Because CO2 is weak electron acceptor. So actually here what happened? The electrons consist the high amount of the energy inside it. So what happened here? In the photon, the energy which is stored, it is transferred into electrons. So that's why initially in the photosynthesis process the light reaction occurs. So as you know that during the light reactions the photon energy, it is converted into ATP and NADPH2 and stored it. And that's why Gill's reaction, also known as photolysis of water, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. As you know that non-cyclic photophosphorylation is also known as Z-skin, and along with that chemiosmotic hypothesis, with the help of that the energy is stored in ATP as well as NADPH2. So after that electrons can store the energy, so that energy is now sent into the carbon dioxide for the reduction procedure. Fine, that's why it is known as uphill transport. It is also known as redox reaction. As you know that at the time of the NCERT discussion, I have told to you that redox reaction in this As you know that here initially what happened, with the help of the light, oxidation of water occurs and then it is followed by reduction of the carbon dioxide. And that's why here the photosynthesis is also known as redox reaction. Fine. So these are the another names of the photosynthesis process. So please you keep it in your mind. Now the next thing, what do we know? First, okay, variegated of leaf. Variegated of leaf experiment is that what we can do. We select the one well developed leaf of the plant first. Then the small part of the plant can be covered with the help of the black paper. Allow that leaf to perform the photosynthesis process in the atmosphere. So some part of the leaf can be covered with the help of the black paper and remaining part of the leaf can be exposed in the atmosphere. So as you know that to identify the starch which is present or not, for that we have to perform the iodine test. As you know that for examination of the starch, we have to do this iodine test. Iodine is yellowish in color. When it is coming in contact with the starch, it becomes bluish or purplish in color. So if blue or purple color can be obtained, so we say like that starch is present. So cover the leaf with the help of the black paper and allow the plant to perform the photosynthesis. So what happened here? The part of the leaf which is covered by the black paper, it cannot absorb the CO2. As a result, in that region starch is not synthesized. Whereas in the remaining open part of the leaf, starch is synthesized. So this variegated experiment of the leaf state that CO2 is essential for photosynthesis. Fine. Sorry, here sunlight is responsible for that. Sunlight is essential for photosynthesis in green parts of the plant. So this indicates that green part can be coming in contact with the sunlight, then and then food is synthesized there. Second, half leaf experiment. which is kept in the KOH solution. So here half-leaf experiment, in that we use the KOH solution. So as you know that KOH solution absorbs CO2, very important. Okay, so the part of the leaf which is dipped in the KOH solution, so KOH solution absorbs the CO2. As a result, the leaf cannot obtain the CO2 in the proper amount. As a result, food is not synthesized there. And the part of the leaf which is not coming in contact with the KOH solution, so that portion obtain the adequate amount of the CO2. So this half-leaf experiment states that CO2 is essential for photosynthesis. And if you know that for photosynthesis the plant requires 4 important things: sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and the green colored pigment. It is known as chlorophyll. So these 2 experiments you have to remember. Now the early experiments we say that history of the photosynthesis. So Stephen Hales Stephen Hales is credited for discovery of the photosynthesis. So Stephen Hales discovered the photosynthesis process, and he is also known as father of plant physiology. So actually photosynthesis and respiration process occurs in the plant. These are known as physiological processes in the plant. Now, Joseph Priestley Joseph Priestley performed so many experiments of role of air in the plant, and he discovered oxygen in 1774. Fine. So you know that the contribution of the Joseph Priestley, that according to the NCERT syllabus, you know that Joseph Priestley stated that plant inspire CO2 and expire O2. Okay, plant inspire CO2 from the atmosphere and expire O2 in the atmosphere, but here this is applicable during daytime only. We are studying the process of photosynthesis, but here the sunlight is very, very essential. So during daytime this process occurs, whereas you know that during the night time the plant perform the respiration process just like other organisms, aerobic respiration. So O2 is intake and CO2 is expelled out. Fine. And Priestley performed the experiment that is Bell jar experiment, that you know it very well. Bell jar experiment, in that one candle is kept there. Fine. So if candle and mouse two are present in the Bell jar experiment, then the amount of the air which is present inside the Bell jar, so Bell jar is kept in such a way that airtight chamber is created, and inside the airtight chamber the burning candle and mouse can be kept there. So the amount of air present in the Bell jar, I mean to say the amount of the oxygen which is present there, up to right now that candle is burning and mouse can respire. But if the oxygen amount is totally over, then candle burning stop and mouse will die. But if we kept the plant along with this burning candle and mouse, so what happened? So during burning, see, burning procedure in that oxygen is very, very essential. Burning procedure always occur in the presence of oxygen. So oxygen is taken by the burning candle as well as mouse, and CO2 is expelled out. So that release the CO2 can be taken by the plant, and plant release the oxygen back, and that cycle is continued there. So Joseph Priestley performed the Bell jar experiment, and that you know it very well. John Ingenhousz. Perform the experiment on the aquatic plants. And showed that in the presence of sunlight, from green parts of the plant, So these bubbles are made up of oxygen. So John Ingenhousz stated that in the presence of sunlight only, the green parts of the plant produce the bubbles, and these bubbles are formed of the oxygen. And in this way, see, during the daytime, we are unable to see the plant expire O2 in the atmosphere. So it is very clearly observed in the aquatic plant that this aquatic plant releases the oxygen in the presence of sunlight only. But you know that the green part of the plant, fine, green part of the plant, so you know that oxygen is released from where? Water. Oxygen is released in the atmosphere, the main source that is water. So oxygen is evolved from the light reaction process, and this chloroplast releases the oxygen back into the atmosphere. Fine. So that is proved by John Ingenhousz. Here are a few points. See, glucose is chemically reactive and soluble. In so many processes, glucose is useful there. Sucrose is chemically inactive and soluble, whereas starch is chemically inactive as well as insoluble. So here I can stop now. Fine. Remaining thing we will discuss in the next lecture.